university or other group of people, that will create an impact. Let's go back to the original threats. We think that the regional conference, based on the API and IPI, would definitely lead to a two-state solution and address or eliminate the risk for a one-state solution. We think that it will harness and unite the anti-nuclearization members of states in the Middle East, and that would block Iran far beyond any other measure. Third, we think that if the regional conference mechanism starts going back to the Madrid model and offers regional economic development, we will begin to see long-term results. So to summarize, we're facing significant threats. It is time for alternative leaders to step up. We have come up with the IPI based on the Arab Peace Initiative. 10 years after the Arab Peace Initiative and 1 year after the IPI, it is time to bring together these two views that are both regional and come up with a united view. For that, we think that the 150 plus signatory of the IPI coming from the center stage in Israel would definitely play a major role in that. We think that the combination of our business approach and our strategic intent would eventually show that we can influence the public opinion, and it is time that we all push for a regional conference. We think at the times of collective confusion, collective fear, collective lack of leadership, it is time for all positive forces in Israel, in the region, in the international community, to stand up and forget for a moment about the convenience of denial, because the convenience of denial is the largest risk of them all. Thank you very much.
Well, we thank you for a very clear and a very encouraging vision of the sort we haven't heard recently in this town. I think that the outlines of what you described would have great resonance in this country if more people knew about it. So we encourage you to do everything you can to spread the word. You've graciously agreed to take some questions. We have 20 minutes or so, or perhaps even longer, but those of you who must leave at 1 o'clock, please do so. So let's begin. Please identify yourself.
Ira Weiss. Two quick questions. My name is Ira Weiss. Two quick questions. One is the Arab Peace Initiative. Saudis brought that to the Arab League without getting in advance Israeli government officials and Israeli public to support it. And they brought it into the public, into the Arab public arena officially. And you, for some reason, you emphasize a tremendous need to get Arabs behind the Israeli Peace Initiative in order to convince the Israeli public to support it. Why is that different? Why do you think that difference exists? And the second question is, you begin by saying that both parties desperately need a two-state solution, and both parties, therefore, would consider a one-state solution to be a tragedy. That's not my impression. My impression from the Palestinian, when I speak to Palestinians, is that the two-state solution from their perspective is not something that's on top of their agenda. To the contrary, that's what they have already conceded as a major concession, as a grand concession to try to advance some kind of peace process. What do you think of the difference between my impression and yours about the Palestinian basic desire for a two-state solution?
Okay, shall I answer your question very quickly?
Like to take three questions. And
okay, I'll try and remember all.
Well, let's just take two. One more question. One more question. Yes, Judge?
Okay, my name's Herbert Grossman. I'm a retired federal judge. First of all, I'm surprised that you give any credence to the so-called Arab Peace Initiative. What it was a Saudi PR gimmick right after 9/11. And it has terms in it, I don't want to belabor this, but it has terms in it that Israel could not accept, and the Arab League said that the terms were non-negotiable. Amr Moussa said that immediately. And the one term, and I want to get to these terms, the main term that's unacceptable is the right of return, which they now say involves 7 million descendants of the former refugees from Israel, which the Arabs will not give up. The second thing is removing all of Israeli forces from the West Bank. Until Israel finds a solution to the rockets in Gaza and the rockets in South Lebanon, how can they possibly move out of the West Bank? And the third thing is, with your talk about a international force, until the UN manages to do its job in South Lebanon in disarming Hezbollah, why do you think an international force will be any more effective in the West Bank in keeping that place demilitarized than it has been in South Lebanon? Thank you.
Okay. I'll try and be short, although each one of these questions requires a very deep reflection. First question, why do we need Arab support for the IPI? I don't ask myself the question from a historic perspective. Practically, I'm telling you, if we want to change the mindset in Israel, that's what we need, for good or for bad. Second, I can tell you that we are doing more service to the Arab Peace Initiative than the Arabs ever did. Because most Israelis, when we tell them that we are basing our IPI on the API, they say, API what? Okay? So I think that on behalf of the Arab League, we should have been rewarded for the marketing effort that we bring to the table, not just because of a tactical manipulation, simply because we bring to the mindset of the Israeli public the mere notion that the regional approach is legitimate. Second, you asked about a two-state solution. The biggest risk right now is that 4 forces in the Middle East are now united to destroy the notion of a two-state solution. They come from the extreme Islamists, Hamas and the likes, who do not want a two-state solution, but just one-state solution to become an Islamic one. They come from certain factions of Fatah, from the PA, who were completely disillusioned, and they say, you know what, they said to me, we have occupation deluxe. Everybody in the world is supporting us. Economy on the West Bank is going well. We don't want to run a state if you don't want to give us one. We will see what happens in 10, 15 years, and we will concur between the Jordan River. There will be more Palestinians than you think. So that's the second group. They are met with 2 ideological extremes in Israel. The extreme left says we should live in peace and harmony together regardless of any national identity. And the extreme right says, of course we want a one-state solution. Under our control, with second-stage citizens, they would be very happy to do so. In the past 24 months, there has never been a stronger coalition in the Middle East than of those who come from 4 different schools of thought with 4 different objectives on one topic. Never ever have we seen such regional unanimity of ideas around one idea. But we know that they all have one state solution in mind, but a very different one. And the question is any of the one state solution a fair and just solution for the Middle East conflict? Is it a fair and just solution or a stable or sustainable solution? No, it is not. It is not an end of conflict solution. So I want to put that sense aside. Still, data shows that at the end of the day, begrudgingly, Israelis, as I showed, 70% will accept a two-state solution, not because they want, because they can live with it, and a similar number in the Palestinian of the Palestinians will do the same.
You get the same results if you ask questions about the Geneva.
Exactly. So I would like to move to the third question. I don't care whether the Arab Peace Initiative was a Saudi PR or not. In May of 2007, the Arab foreign ministers met in Jeddah and reaffirmed it as a political plan. They have sent a group of ministers to Israel, and since 2009, even the Palestinian Authority accepted the Arab Peace Initiative as part of its political program. So what may have started as an interview is now a solid proposal.